Hey there, how's it going? Today I want to talk to you about something that all of us go through. I go through, you go through, everyone else that you know goes through. And this is arguments that we have. We go through arguments all of the time almost, whether it's with our parents, with our co-workers, with our classmates, or our partners. It can be your girlfriend or your boyfriend, or if you are married, you can be your wife or your husband. But arguments happen and take place. But most of the time, the way they happen is somehow exaggerated, if I can explain it right to you. They're somehow exaggerated. It feels like the response that you get from something that you say, or it can be the other way around, the way you respond to the action taken or with the thing that has been said to you, the response and the reaction that you have does not match what has happened there in the arguments, right? So we're going to talk about that. So we're going to mention that, and we're going to talk about how the brain works, how our psychologically is wired in a way that it can help us, that in the next argument that we're going to have, we're going to be able to handle it a lot better, and maybe we can fix some broken stuff that has been stuck with us for God knows how long, right? So let's get on with it. The common belief that we have is that our reactions are the responses to what's happening right now. That's commonly believed, right? Like, for example, someone says something and we feel it and we process it, right? The feeling matches the event. Simple as that. It makes total sense. It's logical, and yeah, it's pretty basic, right? But the thing is, our nervous system doesn't really work that way. We're not wired that way. The things that trigger your emotions most of the times have nothing to do with what's happening at this moment, at the present moment. They have something to do with the past. Touche, right? Since everything is connected to your childhood some way, but it is true. So the way your nervous system works is it's running on a database that was written when you were little, when you were really young, before you had gone through puberty, and before you had any defenses, or before you had any possible way to file away things that was happening to you. So every time something from present rhymes with that database, that file, that old file, gets opened. And our brain cannot distinguish an offense from today from a wound that happened years ago, right? That's basically the exact same pathway and chemistry that we have. And the thing is, it's not happening again. This thing, the file that opens, it's not happening again. There's no again, it's just happening. The file just opens. It's not happening. It's not something that is happening again, right? I'm going to explain it further to you. There's no timestamp on a trigger in your nervous system. It just simply doesn't exist. So I want to tell you now how we can know, how we can understand when this thing happens, right? How we can realize when this old file is being opened, right? When does it happen? How we can know that is happening in front of us in that argument that we are in. It's actually pretty simple. It's a simple rule that it's really easy to memorize and to have in mind, which is when the size of the reaction does not equal the size of the event. Easy as that. Easy as that. The size of the reaction does not equal the size of the event. Something small happens, something small is being said, and the reaction to that is enormous in a way. Now, let's go through some examples to that so you can understand what exactly is going on, what exactly I'm talking about. Let's take a married couple, for example, right? Let's take a married couple. For example, the woman is at house and the man was at work, and he comes home maybe a little bit late, I don't know. And the woman turns to him and says, "Well, did you even do anything today? Did you even do anything? Have you done anything today?" Right? And the man crashes out. Like he buys into the frame, and he starts explaining, he starts arguing, and he's furious, and his chest just wides out. He's like, he gets all frowny and stuff like that, and he's furious over something so small, right? Because let's think about it. Maybe someone like comes and says to you, well, have you done anything today, or do you do anything in this house? And you're like, yeah, well, I do a lot of things a lot of times. It's not that I don't do anything. So why would he react the way he reacted, right? Why is his reaction so much bigger than the event that is taking place? And this has like 3 layers that you can see, and you can look at it. And layer 1 is the present. This is basically, you think that I don't do anything. You think that I don't do anything in this house. That's the way you can see it, right? That's the way that the guy is reacting. You think I don't do anything in this house. Very simple. Layer 1. But layer 2 is the pattern. And with the pattern, it looks something like people look at me and they see somebody who isn't enough, right? That's a layer 2. So let's repeat it one more time. Layer 1, you think that I do nothing all day. You think that I do nothing around this house. Layer 2, the pattern. People look at me. This is like, you see how it's being perceived. People look at me as like somebody who isn't enough. And then we come to the layer 3, which is the installation. This is when that old file was saved in the database, right? This is the 8-year-old guy that had his report card on the table, and his dad just came and looked at the report card and looked at him and just said nothing, and then left the room, right? So that file was saved back then. What is a file? The little boy there learns a rule that is going to be with him for the rest of his life, the rest of his entire life. That file is going to be there with him. And he's gonna, this is a file. He says, right now, I am not producing anything. I'm producing nothing right now. And he says, people who love me are leaving me. And he says, I am only worth something when I produce something. I am only worth what I produce. And that's a file, right? So the argument that he's having, the way he's furious and the way he's arguing, he's not even arguing about what the woman said to him. He's actually arguing with his dad. So remember, there's no happening again. The file opened and it's just happening. The file opened and that 8-year-old is taking place of this grown-ass man. That's the way it is. And the woman, with saying what she said, she just accidentally, she doesn't know about this. She just read the exact line that was in that file. And when she did that, she just brought this 8-year-old in the room. As I said, the grown man is gone now. That's just the 8-year-old arguing now with his father in a way. It's not even toward the woman. And this is because the grown man's nervous system does not have a calendar. It's just the old code with a new hardware. That's what it is. And I guess you can see that with this situation, it's not really their fault. It's neither of those people's faults. They just got into an argument and they're arguing. Somehow they're arguing with a ghost that doesn't even exist. And most of the times, almost all of the times, none of these people that are in these arguments know what's going on here. So it's not even their fault. So I want you to have this kind of mindset almost. Just think about it this way. Think about it as that thing, this argument, this thing, that's not their problem to solve. It's your problem to find. It puts some responsibility on yourself. It's putting some responsibility on you for you to be able to find what's going on there, and then maybe be able to have just a conversation with the person, not an argument. And especially not an argument with a ghost that just does not exist there. And you can do this thing with yourself as well. And what you can do is just, whenever something like this happens, whenever you have a reaction that does not match the events, maybe just for a moment think about it. Think about, when was the first time that I felt this way? Remember the first time that you felt that way. And not feeling similar, it's almost exactly the same feeling. And remember, try to remember what was it, when was it, when you felt like that. And you don't need to like sit and have meditation and like just be in yourself for, I don't know, a week or so, not talking to anyone to be able to find that. It's most of the times it's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about it. When was the first time you felt like that? And most of the time, it's the first thing that comes up. So when you do this, you're able to distinguish it and help yourself with the next arguments that you have. Because although these files were installed without any choice that you had, you didn't have any choice when these files got installed, but you were a kid back then, and now you're not anymore. So you have your own choices to make. Now you can choose what files to install, and you can take control of all of these arguments, hopefully, in your life. And next arguments that you have, I really hope you can find those problems and you can solve them, whether it's you or it's someone that you're talking with and you're having an argument with. Thank you so much for giving me your attention. Thank you for your trust, and I see you in the next one.